traditional red shirts with the white sleeves. Ashley Grimes, one of the substitutes. And away we go, with Luton attacking the goal to our right. Both sides struggling a little bit for form lately. Luton with just one win in their last 5. Arsenal the holders with only 2 wins in their last 9. There's Harford's head. Here's Ricky Hill and Tim Breaker. Steve Foster for Luton, planting it forward towards the head of Harford. Very nervous opening did Dibble in that FA semi-final against Wimbledon, but brought off some great saves in the first half. After that, Sanson. Davis. Arsenal moving with a lot of comfort and composure at the moment. Danny Wilson. And appear at the moment to have settled just a little better. David Pleat?
Yes, I think the early moments are important to whoever gets the initiative, and I think Arsenal, particularly from Sansom and Winterburn's situation, will want to push on quickly and test the defensive instincts of for the likes of Ricky Hill and Kingsley Black.
There's a good shot by Smith and well held by Andy Dibble, a man bought from Cardiff City. Smith. George Graham with his hand to his mouth there. Theo Foley. Sanson almost lazily forward with that left foot. Foster versus Alan Smith.
I think Arsenal use the long throw to try and get an advantage this afternoon. Both fullbacks, Sansom and Winterburn, throw right into the box, and they'll try and use the height of Adams.
Well, to that effect, Adams is on the edge of the Luton box right now. And there he is jumping for it, but Foster had spotted that. Priest. And again Arsenal through Davis and then through Rocastle. The ball now for Thomas. Dibble's gone out. The cross comes in and Rob Johnson, as cool as you like. The first real scare, that one for Luton. And once Dibble had failed to get that ball, they could have been in the most serious trouble. A delightful ball played by Rocastle. There goes Dibble. Michael Thomas there looking up, but look at the coolness there of Rob Johnson. Foster versus Smith. Foster wins it in the air. Rocastle for Arsenal. Nodded on towards Perry Groves. Foster's there again and again. Steen, a nice little header there. And Luton suddenly have got 4 up. And Arsenal only have 3 back. Here's Ricky Hill. Played quickly for Danny Wilson. He's gone past Sanson. The cross comes into Brian Steen. Looking to get something on the turn. Kingsley Black couldn't either. And Thomas gets it away. But then it hits Rocastle and falls for Harford. Priest trying to dink it in. And it comes for Rob Johnson. The best little spell though for Luton so far. With 13 minutes of the game gone. 0-0. Free kick for Luton.
I think Harford's header there against Lukic is important psychologically, and they'll be thrusting balls into that area because Harford is not only brave, he's a magnificent jumper, and they'll be very wary of him, particularly if he can pull away to the back post against the smaller Arsenal fullbacks.
Just what he's done just now. Thomas has gone there to watch him. Harford getting in on this one. Foster's in there too. There's a chance for Luton. Steen has scored. With 13 and a half minutes gone, and Brian Steen with his 17th of the season, played in by Priest. Foster was in there, important touch by him, and suddenly he's a good finisher, Brian Steen, and proved it there again at Wembley to put Luton ahead.
Because it was Harford that forced the issue. There's 3 men jumping with him, and then Foster's nicked it through, and maybe Caesar's looking for the offside decision.
Well, Ray Harford, the Luton manager, saw his side go ahead against Wimbledon in the semi-final of the FA Cup, but they just couldn't hang on to that lead. Smith finding Davis. Baker going in rashly there, conceding the free kick. Let's see what Arsenal can come up with here. Newcastle thought for a moment was going to be behind it, but it looks as though it'll be the responsibility of Paul Davis.
A very similar position, Brian, to last year's goal against Liverpool.
Elbows going into that wall as well. Winterburn shot, beautifully saved by Dibble. Struck beautifully there by the fullback. He's only ever scored one goal for Arsenal. Mind you, that was an important one. The winner in the quarter-final of this competition against Sheffield Wednesday, but he hit that with tremendous power. And that'll do Andy Dibble's confidence a bit of good too. Adams. Quarter of an hour of the first half remaining, and Arsenal have had so much of the game territorially, but really have had so little to show for it. The heads have been almost permanently screwed to the left, watching the action, not so much to the right. Here we go again as Adams. There's Rocastle. Good break by Winterburn, and Foster's there in the nick of time, defending extremely well. A valuable interception there by the Luton Town captain after a good break and a tremendous run forward by Nigel Winterburn, but very nearly paid off for Arsenal. Goal kick.
Arsenal have obviously suggested that they must break as much as possible down that left side. Priest hasn't played much football recently. Johnson is playing left back, whereas he hasn't been a left back recently. Grimes has been playing there, and young Kingsley Black's come in. So Arsenal with Winterburn and Rocastle would try and stretch them down that side.
Well, the last seconds of the first half now, we just had the injury to David Priest, and Joe Worrell just adding on the best part of a minute for that now. Luton's free kick. Now Donaghy will take it. Towards Brian Steen. There goes the half-time whistle, and certainly so far after 45 minutes, all the gambles that Ray Harford, the Luton manager, has had to take over the last few days are paying off. Brian Steen's goal after 13 minutes is what separates the two sides, but certainly Hill and Priest have done enough in midfield. Young Kingsley Black has shown one or two moments down the flank, and Dibble has done well for Ray Harford here as the Luton Town goalkeeper. So far, so good then for the underdogs, but you fancy there's a lot more football left in this Littlewoods Cup final yet. In a moment, we'll get the views of Ian St John, but now we take a short break. Here we go then, at the start of the second half, Luton leading this Littlewoods Cup final by a goal to nil. Arsenal about to kick off. They'll now, of course, be attacking a goal to our right. Brian Steen, the scorer for Luton after 13 minutes. George Graham was saying in the week that the one thing that really bothered him was the inconsistent form that Arsenal have been showing lately. They've been good one day and poor the next. Reminding you that they've won only 2 of their last 9. And certainly it was one of their poorer days in the first half in terms of what they were able to achieve when really they'd had so much of the ball. This is Kingsley Black. Certainly has shown no qualms about being put into a Wembley occasion at the age of 19. Wins a free kick. Caesar trying to get Smith away. Johnson went through that challenge well enough. Found Priest, He's got Black outside him. He's got Ricky Hill, Brian Steen and Mick Harford forward, and here's Kingsley Black. Next to go on the outside, which is cross in! And Harford was in there. Enjoys doing that, whipping on the outside. An excellent crossover ball, combines well with Mick Harford. And Harford's just wide of the mark under pressure from Sanson. David Pleat?
Yeah, Kingsley's not got explosive pace, but he's got this ability to manoeuvre an angle to get the cross in. And Harford thrives on those type of crosses.
Caesar under pressure from Harford, and Harford's got away from him. Brian Steen's waiting in the middle. Can Harford get to that one? Crossed in by him. Brilliant piece of goalkeeping by Lukic from the header from Brian Steen, and Luton within a whisker of being two ahead. Tremendous piece of goalkeeping there by Lukic. That 6-foot frame of his stretched to the very last inch. And Luton win their first corner of the game. Fabulous piece of goalkeeping.
Fantastic save and fantastic bit of attacking play, and I think that will lift the whole game.
All right, here we go with a corner for Luton. Up goes Harford again. And Ricky Hill into the side netting. And Arsenal just for that moment back on their heels. It's certainly worth looking at again because it was a lovely little piece of play there in the first place by Black. A good header there, and in fact flicked it onto the post. And Martin Hayes coming on for Arsenal. And they're going to take off Perry Groves. See how they're going to work that out now. Hayes will come over onto his left side. I'm just wondering what Kevin Richardson's part's going to be now. And will it be a straight swap, do you think?
No, I think Hayes will run free up front, and I think we'll play Rocastle wider on the right, more as an orthodox outside right. But I would have, it must have been a difficult one for George. I would feel, two lots of pace. Hayes and Groves might have been a winner, but we've got 30 minutes to find out.
Meanwhile, Mick Harford is still off the field, and Luton at the moment playing with 10 men as Rocastle comes forward. And here's Hayes getting his first touch. He's gone past Foster. Gets it to Smith. And now Rocastle. Richardson on the far side. Good cross in by him. Foster there again. Davis hitting it first time. And no, it doesn't go out of play. Smith with the header. Beautifully saved by Dibble. The flag was up, was it?
Yes, an offside decision has been given. And I'm sure Smith would be relieved at that, because in actual fact I think he picked the wrong option there, and I think across the goal once again was the better opportunity for Arsenal.
And you're quite right, David. Mark Steen is coming on, and Mick Harford is coming off. Although the physio may have felt that it was right for Mick Harford to go on, Mick obviously felt otherwise. And little Mark Steen comes on, 22 years old. He was really upset when he was left out of the side yesterday. There was newspaper talk this morning that he walked out on the camp and went back to his parents' home last night. Ray Harford, the manager, didn't want to talk about that, but he's back here as a sub, and now he's playing. And he's had quite a good record, 12 goals this season. And here he is now, looking to make another one, or score it himself. And the chance was certainly there. Well, he's the smallest man on the field at 5'3". But he could have been a really big man for Luton in that moment. His first touch, this.
It was very clever, Mark, and he can do clever little things with the ball, but there's always been a slight doubt about his finishing.
Smith. Rocastle. It's gone past crease. Well, he didn't get past crease, I suppose that's the point. It's a free kick. So the ball got past, but not the player. 35 yards out. Paul Davis behind it. chip by him. Foster with the header. Might go anywhere. Oh, Hayes has made it 1-1. That becomes an inspired substitution, and the goal that Arsenal had threatened for much of this second half has finally arrived.
Well, it came that way, didn't it, Brian? It was a pure scramble. I mean, they tried to claim that Foster was holding. It looked like almost an amateurish free kick, lofted up into the 6-yard box, loads of bodies, and then a ricochet that fell kindly for Arsenal. But there it is now. We have a wonderful game on our hands. Wonderful game.
1-1 the score. Maybe the balance has swung Arsenal's way.
It's lovely to see how young Black's taken the pressure of this game. He's a very mature boy. I always thought he was an introvert, and I doubted whether he would have enough authority to make a player. But John Moore was a tremendous influence on him and persisted, and in the end he persuaded us to sign him.
Thomas, and now Smith, the great chance now! He's put it into the back of the net, and Arsenal are in the lead! Until today, all that's forgiven now as Alan Smith brings Arsenal from behind into a leading position with this goal here, driven with great force with the right foot, past Andy Dibble.
It was excellently taken, but there must have been a question mark there from that angle. It looked as though he'd gone far too wide, the first touch. Maybe not, but Luton just had to overcover there, and they're succumbing to the pressure. The fitness, I think, is telling.
Well, we said he thought it might be a crucial area now for Luton, with 2 or 3 of their players lacking match fitness.
I think young Creasy in midfield, the left midfield player, I think he's done terrific. But I think
towards Smith. No! Good grief! Even again, no! Well, from about a yard out, Martin Hayes actually hit the post after Dibble again had saved well. And Arsenal so close to going 3-1 into the lead. Good reaction save there, came off the post, and Martin Hayes hitting the post from a yard's range, and the ball eventually going behind for the corner. You're quite right, David Priest has gone off, and Ashley Grimes comes on.
That was a marvellous save by Dibble.
Adams, and a little flick on, another brilliant save by Dibble. Again from Martin Hayes, from no more than a yard's range. Tremendous reactions, and Arsenal absolutely rampant at the moment. 2-1 up, and looking now to make this Littlewoods Cup final absolutely safe.
For the first time in the game, Foster's so busy organising that he's losing his men in the box.
Well, Davis with the corner. Foster lost his man there as well. Smith trying to get it on the turn. Rocastle, just wide, goal kick. Ray Harford off the bench there, trying to get a few things organised, particularly in that Luton defence, and he's done a terrific job there, following you, David Cleat, and John Moore, of course. 2-1, 10 minutes left. Onside, Smith's on his way. This could make it safe for Arsenal. Saved by Dibble. Rocastle. Penalty given as Rocastle is brought down. Arsenal get a penalty. Well, Michael Thomas has been taking them for much of this season, but Nigel Winterburn, who's only ever scored once for Arsenal, and that's in the quarter-finals against Sheffield Wednesday. And with all the also who's taken a lot of penalties last season. Curious decision, this. Well, let's see. Winterburn. Saved superbly by Dibble. A genuinely good goalkeeping save there. Studiously placed towards the corner by Winterburn. A spectacular leap and save by Andy Dibble, and a corner for Arsenal. 8 minutes left. Brian Steen getting back there to get it away. Rocastle for Arsenal. Turning on the power now. Another cross coming in over the top, and it'll be a goal kick. What about it, David?
Well, dare I say, Brian, that I thought it was a harsh decision in the first place. Dibble got down awfully well. That was the clincher. Luton are still in the game, but of course Arsenal are rampant now because they feel so confident, but it's taken them a long time to get going, and then they've had the breaks at the vital time, but at least it's turned out into a very good second half.
Foster. Winterburn. Johnson gets it back. Caesar. Oh, he stumbled. Can Black get in there? Steen! Steen! And it's in there! I think it was Danny Wilson who got the last touch, and Luton are back at 2-2. Can you believe it? He wants to, and he's made sure that we have to believe it. Kingsley Black, after Caesar had fallen, a little touch there to Brian Steen. The first one is charged down. Steen gets another touch. And in the end, it's Danny Wilson who tucks it in to make it 2-2. Breaker. Steen. This is Mark Steen. Oh, that's a foul. Now Tony Adams. Free kick to Luton. They want Vic Foster to go forward for this, and he is. Terrific influence on this game today, and who knows, he might yet have the last word. Quick word there with Ashley Grimes about how the free kick should be taken, and Ray Harford gets back to the bench.
I think Ray'd like to take it for him, Brian.
Chip in there by Danny Wilson. Now Grimes. Picked the outside there, Steen! And Luton are ahead in the very last minute. It'll take a monumental effort now by Arsenal to get back on level terms, and the underdogs look as though they are going to have the last word. What an amazing cup final this is turning out to be. You would hardly have given Luton a price 10 minutes ago, and now suddenly they've gone back level, and now Brian Steen has made it 3-2.
Yes, it was Brian, and it was a superb ball from Ashley Grimes, outside of his left foot, clever ball, and I think overall it's about right.
You might be a little biased, former Luton manager.
I hope I haven't shown that too much, Brian. It's been a good second half. It's finished.
It's finished, and Luton have won their first major trophy. They've tried for so long, since they were formed back in 1897, and they're all over the pitch. There's a whole heap of them. As Ray Harford, their manager, comes to shake hands with his player coach and skipper, Steve Foster. And who would have believed it? No wonder he's got a hug for Andy Dibble, man who saved a penalty, and Arsenal will be kicking themselves because they played poorly for so long, and then suddenly when they got the breaks, they should have ripped it away from Luton's grasp. And Brian Steen, with those 2 goals, the last one in the very last minute, made sure that the cup goes to Bedfordshire.
He's really an inspirational character, is Foster. He's led the club brilliantly in his years there. He came from Aston Villa reserves.
Well, this action never changes, as he'll lift the cup. It's just that the faces do, and that's a new face and a new club. The name goes on the Littlewoods Cup, Luton Town FC.
Hello and welcome to Sport Classics, the Wembley Gold Selection. In this series of programmes, we'll bring you